Question. Have you ever been so broke to the point where you might actually consider living in your car or living in a storage unit? Well, some people are doing just that. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Chandrea back with a reaction video. And today I'm talking about some serious square business. We're talking about people living in cars, people living in storage units, and the homeless situation just in general. It's kind of interesting looking at the world that we're seeing today, and it's just hard. It's hard. So I just found these videos. I want to see what's going on with folks who are living in their cars and living in these units to see exactly what's going on. Let's go.
I live in a storage unit because it's cheap in comparison to an apartment. Living here is actually really comfortable. I get a lot of things that I need and want to get done here. I can exercise. I can use the bathroom. I can play music anywhere in the unit. It's climate controlled in here, so it's nice and warm. This unit is 24 hours, so I can come here anytime I want, stay here as long as I need to. We can take naps if we need to and go to sleep. So this is our living space. Very, very grateful to have this space. The next goal is to get an RV. The next goal after that, tiny home. And if we want to eat, I just cook right out front. Or we'll just prepare something cold inside of the unit. Sandwiches, a lot of times we make salad. If we want to get power, we use our power bank. They also have power here so we can charge our power bank. Me and my baby will live here as long as we need to until we get the shelter that we want. Because we're living here, now we can save up more money to get what we really want. We're in it for the long haul. Thank you for the support. Thanks for watching.
My car and it snowed, and I realized I don't really have to move the car. It's really cold because there's snow on the windows. So, it's not too bad. I have my little warm blanket, and then what I'm gonna do is lay on top of my blanket for a while, and that's gonna let me know how deep I need to go because I have multiple blankets and multiple layers of my blankets as they're all folded over twice. So obviously this is my bed. I have this up here so I can watch some TV, listen to music, whatever. Because I feel in this world is in a car. Then so be it. And that's just what it is. So people are asking me what happened. He started out when I was 1 and I was violated and I just never got over it. And the more kids I had, the more afraid I became. And you spend your whole life just wondering, can you even protect them? You can't, really, honestly. So today I'm just tired. Live in my car. Let's get stealthy, putting up my two-sided reflectors. The black side keeps the heat in and makes the car hot. The silver side keeps it cooler in the summertime. This provides me full privacy so I'm not a fishbowl at nighttime. I have a battery powered light up, and this is a pretty quick process that I do every night so that I can sleep in private in my car, and I absolutely love these. These are WeatherTech, but they do shrink over time due to the reflectives on the inside. The installation, as you can see, shrunk on the side and the back there.
I'm currently living in a storage unit. My landlords decided not to renew my lease this year, and the apartment that I applied for won't be open until October 1st. I have family here in town, but here I am, living in the storage unit. And the bad part is your access gets denied after 10 p.m. So if I am to leave right now, I wouldn't be able to get back in. Here's my setup. I got my bed right here. Don't come at me. I'm literally living in a storage unit, bro. And how I lock myself in here to ensure that no one comes in here is I use this rope and I put it under my TV stand. And that makes it to where this door can't open from the outside. I've also dummy locked it to where it looks like someone isn't in here, and they've got their shit locked up. So when the employees walk by, they don't know I'm in here. Slowly getting back to my feet.
There's a lot happening here with the videos that I just watched. I mean, the first one, one of the first ones, the guy was, in the unit with his girlfriend. They were living in there, had a couch in the whole nine, and they were just trying to build their lives back up, right? Due to whatever circumstances they faced. And then you have people living in their cars, right? And I'm thinking it's snowing, it's dangerous, people freeze to death outside, and then you have people who, don't have a choice. They have no one to go to, no resources to go to, and things like that. So there's a lot of different things happening right now. And this is what I can say. There's people, I actually looked this up. I looked up the statistics because I wanted to know. Back in 2024, let me just break this down to you guys. There were 771,000 homeless people that were recorded across the country, right? That was in 2024, right? So now, out of that 771,000, 274,000 were unsheltered. So as far as homeless, that just means they don't have a regular home or place to stay, right? So they could be couch surfing or something like that. Unsheltered means they have no roof whatsoever, or they're living in their car, or that the people living on the literally sleeping on the street, literally, or like the park benches and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a little difference between the two, but it's like unsheltered is under, within the homeless population definition. But anyway, with all that being said, as a reporter, there were a lot of things that I started to uncover and discover. Like, as far as the homeless population, it boomed. It started to get even worse during COVID because of losses, job losses, all this uncertainty in the world, right? And in the midst of all of that, here's the thing. You have these younger folks who are saying, we're just trying to rebuild, and I want to be able to save money and do this, that, and the other, and they can work if they're able-bodied and able to work. Then you have the other side of the coin. You have homeless people who were seniors who were on fixed incomes, right? The rents went through the roof and they couldn't afford to live where they were living. So some of them literally became homeless and had no one to go to, right? And so as a result, some people became homeless with nowhere to go. Some people had roommates and things like that. So I kind of wonder, where things stand with some of those folks today that I had encountered, during my time here in Arizona, as far as that whole thing goes. But there's a lot of different elements happening here. There's a lot happening, right? So you have homeless people who don't have a choice, who are living in their cars or living in storage units. Then you have some people who live car life, van life, who choose a nomadic lifestyle and they want to be out there, and live that lifestyle, right? That's what they're choosing to do. And then you have people who just don't have a choice whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? So just a lot of different elements to this, but there's a lot to think about when it comes to it. And my question to you out there is this: do you know someone who's homeless? Because I know I do. Have you ever been homeless yourself? Have you ever seen someone living in their car? Have you ever known of anyone to live in a storage unit? That's something to really think about. And I took some notes about some stuff too. So as far as roommating, maybe they can do that. The other part is I honestly thought about the dangers of living in a storage unit. When I saw the people, I'm like, how do you close yourself in there? And then if something happens, you can't get out. It's just there's just a lot happening with that, right? And then you have the elderly, like I said, a lot of folks who they can't go out and find jobs and rebuild because they're 70, 80 plus years old. So what do they do? Where are they? And then the other part of it is the world that we live in today, right? Think about the resources that are out there right now. Things are changing. Funding is changing, being cut, all types of things happening all over the country. So where do we sit with all this stress? I don't know. My husband and I are two able-bodied working people, and it's stressful to us working people, right? Who have who are trying to still build something, who happen to be blessed with a roof over our heads, right? But I'm going to tell you something. When I moved to my apartment in Tucson in 2019, my rent was $1,000. We both were working, so we were like, okay, we can hang with that. Throughout COVID, between 2019 and 2024, our rent went up $700. Our rent is $1,700. And trying to find somewhere else to live is either more or it's just all the same. So it's kind of what do you do with that? So a lot of people are resorting to what they're resorting to. And honestly, I can't be mad at them when it comes down to it at the end of the day, because you have to survive. What else can you do? You know what I'm saying? I know, of course, living in a storage unit is not legal, everywhere, but what are people going to do? Have you ever considered living in your car? Or even some people who said, I'm going to live in my car to save money, working able-bodied people, live in their cars, go to the gym, pay for a gym membership, take their showers and do all their things and just kind of live their lives that way. So is that something that you would consider, with the way that the world is today? Let me know. Later.